And then we got the commission. I mean, we got the world's thought leader on knife throwing. Okay.
Perfect.
Welcome to Rock Hill, South Carolina. What a busy day of action here on ESPN the Ocho. Starting this morning with the World Axe Throwing League Commissioners Cup Tournament. Bright lights, fantastic venue, and a busy day of sports. First and foremost, we're starting with some slow-mo shots because we got to show you these teams. Team Butcher, Team Ace of Spades, a little husband-wife duo, battling it out this morning and having a blast with our production crew, kicking off live coverage of ESPN the Ocho. It's a busy day of sports. Of course, we'll start with the axes and the knives, and then all morning long, Bull Shooter Invitational at 11 o'clock, Omega Ball mixed in, our first ever Pro Q Sports League, and then the fun stuff in the afternoon. The Ocho Show at 3 o'clock, and that goes all the way to 10:30 Eastern. So much coverage today on ESPN the Ocho. We welcome you here to the Rock Hill Sports Event Center with one of the best ever at throwing knives, Mike Kumpf, and the commissioner, Evan Walters. I'm Evan Budrovich. First and foremost, second straight year of this event. What should we expect from the World Axe Throwing and Knife competition today?
Today we're going to step up our game. This year we're bringing in the knives and the axes on the same board at the same time. Look forward to the Minefield event.
And Evan, how about this competition? Husband-wife duo battling it out.
You know, it's probably been a feud that's been boiling for many, many years, so it's really good that they're finally going to be able to take that out on the boards.
Here's what's going on today in terms of the events. We'll have 4 different competitions. Scoring, the points are a little different, but first and foremost, Nick and Kendra, I don't know what Thanksgiving's going to be like this year, but on national TV, their teams are pretty stacked today.
Absolutely. On the red team, Nick Colomaya, of course, captaining them, and other player, I'll say smart things.
What I'll have you do, too, is you can just touch on the different events.
Yeah, probably.
Kind of we're, what the events are, and then Evan, you can follow that up kind of based on if there's anything else to add to that.
Yeah, he's right here. Yep. Yeah, he can hear you.
I'm glad we rehearsed these things.
Yeah,
no,
right.
those are good.
I was like, I forget every player.
Yep.
Reigning knife throwing champion? Is that the proper way to say it?
Sure. Yeah, reigning. Yeah, I don't know. How would it say?
Yeah, reigning knife throwing. He's the world champion.
Yeah.
It was so silly. I was hopping between the commentary and the throws. And then we did the open after it was over.
Yeah.
So I had to act like I didn't know I won as we were doing that. And he's like, "How do you think you're going to fare today?" I was like, "Anybody but me today."
I'm not a betting man, but don't bet on me.
Yeah, that's almost exactly how I said it.
Let's have fun today, boys.
Yeah, let's do it. Looking forward.
It's the most wonderful day of the year for sports of all different kinds. Welcome to the Rock Hill Sports and Event Center. Getting things started this morning with the World Axe Throwing League Commissioners Cup Tournament here in Rock Hill, South Carolina. What a fantastic day. We're going to start this morning with axes and knives right into your living room. Got a team competition today, the Butcher versus the Ace of Spades, little red versus blue action. And why not? Some slow-mo shots to kick off your morning. This will be fantastic in our opening hour of live coverage. It's a busy day on ESPN 8 the Ocho. You gotta love the screams. You gotta love the competitions we have lined up. We have bull shooter darts later today, and then Omega Ball mixing in. How about this, our first ever Pro Q Sports League at 1 o'clock, and then we head outdoors to the Kickball Championships at 2, and then a live show at 3 o'clock. ESPN Ocho breaking all things down. It is a busy day of sports here in Rock Hill. We welcome you to the Rock Hill Sports and Events Center with the knife-throwing champion Mike Kump and the commissioner Evan Walters. I'm Evan Budrovich. Second year of this competition. What should fans expect today here in Rock Hill?
Well, we've stepped our game up. You know, we're bringing the knives, we're bringing the axes and the big axes, but today you're going to see knives on the board and axes coming at them same time.
And Evan, this is a husband-wife duel that'll make your Thanksgiving really exciting between Nick and Kendra. How will this battle match up?
You know, I think it's going to be pretty even. They both are major powerhouses, but, you know, that's something they're going to solve on the board, so we'll see.
Let's break down the format of today's events. It gets a little unique this year with 4 different competitions. Nick and Kendra picked their teams. And what should we expect in terms of the games taking place?
Yeah, in this battle of who sleeps on the couch, we're going to see triple stack where competitors are going to be aiming 3 axes into the same 1.5-inch target. You're going to see the over-under, underhand, overhand, same time with a minefield, knives and axes coming at the board same time. It's going to be a fun day.
Let's meet those team captains who have been gracious enough to keep their distance between the two of us today. We're kind of breaking up the fight in the middle. First and foremost, Kendra, for you, how exciting is it to have this sport on full display and compete against your husband?
Oh no, this is a super fun opportunity. We're all really excited to be here. This is something that, these are the kinds of games that we get to play after we do the regular league. So it's really fun to get to showcase all of that here and let everybody else see how much fun we have.
And Nick, how important is it to be the good husband and lose, or be the good husband and try to win as well?
Oh, it's hard because you want to win for sure. I got my team, we want to win and do good, but you know, I still got to drive home, so.
And let's break down some of the couple aspect of this as well, because of course we have 2 great competitors. But keep in mind, I love the pet peeve part. Nick, you're talking about the eye rolling, Kendra, who does the dishes the best. So there's more to it than just who can throw axes or who can throw knives on the board.
Always. I mean, we try to be really nice and supportive, but at the same time, there's an awful lot of little digs and pokes that go on in the background.
Nick, as Kendra's probably the more accomplished axe thrower, how do you think you're going to maybe compete today?
It's going to be hard to step up, but you know, it's a lot of pressure. I'm going to try my best. I got to get one off of her, so.
This is what makes it so great. I want to thank you guys for joining us. I know you got some work to do. Let's break down those lineups and see what you guys think about your team selections today. So it all begins, of course, with this first round. But then the triple stack is unique. There's a lot of different targets, a lot of opportunities, and you have to win each round as you go.
Absolutely. No, this one's going to be really challenging. It's a lot of fun to try and slot a whole bunch of axes into small spots, but there's a lot of opportunity for carnage, for things bouncing off of each other in those tiny targets.
And then from the red team standpoint, Nick, give me a sense. You're going last, of course, against your wife in the final relay, but how does that relay play a factor down the stretch?
It's going to be big. Like, we're going to be back and forth through this whole competition, and it's going to come down to it where nerves can't get the best of you. You're just going to have to throw.
Well, thank you both so much. Now we're going to break down all different axes you're going to see today, because trust me, folks, you will want to stick around for this next hour.
Cool.
The pros don't throw any ordinary axes. They throw axes designed specifically for axe throwing. The World Axe Throwing League has detailed specifications for axes, which include a maximum blade length, a maximum overall weight, and a designated handle length range. Throwing axes are not meant for splitting, so the blades are very thin. This allows throwers to focus on precision, not power. In addition to having a thin blade profile, the axes must also be razor sharp, strong enough to be a utility or camping axe. Most throwers have straight handles on their axes. This means they can easily release the axe, allowing the throw to be replicated and perfected. All wattle axes have a unique design and advantage. Axes with a curved blade, like the Ace of Spades and the Bad Axe, make it easier for throwers to stick the axe to the board with its curved edge while still having 4 inches of coverage. These axes are perfect for throwers who are starting out or don't have a strong throw and prefer a lighter axe. Axes like the Corporal are heavy hitters. It has a unique fishhook design and added weight on the back of the axe head. That weight provides extra power to ensure the corporal does not drop when it hits the board. The Butcher is Waddle's most popular and unique axe. It has a full 4 inches of coverage from blade to handle. Its square box-like design also makes the axe easy to land even on tough boards. As you can see, the axes used by the pros are unique to the sport. For more information, you can visit worldaxethrowingleague.com.
Here's our first competition. It's called Triple Stack. Keep in mind, it's 10 different rounds of 3 axes. All those axes, you pick a specific target and have to hit. And I'm curious from your perspective, what makes this so difficult?
Yeah, as you get one axe in the board, right, you're taking up that space, you're reducing the amount of room that you can fit it in. What they're going to try to do is use those axes as markers, almost in darts, where they hit against the first one that's in the board and try to just shoop, deflect off that, keep it right in the target.
In terms of the competitors for Team Blue, Matthew Colavecchia, but we're going to call him Sheep Toast. That's his nickname. That's his go-to. He's a self-described acupuncturist, which means you got to be pretty precise throwing those axes.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, whether you're throwing the needles for acupuncture or you're throwing axes, the precision is key.
He'll take on Jessica Renner out of Columbus, Ohio. She's been throwing for about 4 or 5 years now. And more specifically, she's a photographer, a drawer, a hiker, and today she's going to be a markswoman on that stage.
Absolutely. Jessica Renner, very experienced thrower, a design engineer by day, looking to draw up a victory today.
So this is game 1. Let's get ready to rock and roll in this thing. Butcher versus Ace of Spades. And early on, here's the first throw. The top left kill. Keep an eye on that top left blue circle early on.
3 axes, 1.5 inch target they're going to be aiming for. As we see Jess with a little bit of nerves throwing low.
Got Team Blue throwing on the left, Team Red on the right. And an early kill on that top left. So as you hit the target, you keep moving on.
Correct. Yeah, they're going to throw 3 at each of these dots. You see the 5 dots on the board there. As they go to this third throw, Jess, and this is the difficulty in this event, right? Jess throwing that third axe, it hits off of one of the ones that's in the board. You see it right there on the floor.
So each team gets a point, 1 time hitting the target. We have our head referee mic'd up as well, so he'll be dropping some knowledge. It's a great sock game today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anytime you can wear strawberries on your socks, you know you're doing something right.
Tyler with the flair. Tyler Flynn, the runner-up in the 2022 Big Axe World Championship.
So this round is bullseyes. You have to hit that dead center bullseye.
And you'll see from Team Butcher, there's what I would call a good marker. Sheep Toast is going to try to use that, and as he comes in at that angle, he's going to try to hit against it and slide right into the bullseye with it. And he just misses. Now, is he going to go in between, or is he going to try to come in from the outside? Look at the board on the left. Here comes Sheep Toast.
The final throw.
Right in the middle.
How about that? Big point for Team Blue.
That begs the question, are you rooting for Team Red or Team Blue, Mike?
It will be arbitrary and will change throughout the broadcast, Evan.
1 point each.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So through 2 rounds, we are knotted up. I'm Team Rainbow today. I'm just here for the fun of it, all the colors, all the competition.
Perfect. As long as we're throwing axes, we're having fun.
Show you this last clutch shot from Sheep Toast.
Right in between the 2 that were in the board already. That's why they designed this event this way.
So round 3, the top right kill.
Bottom left.
Bottom left.
For those at home, the commentary desk is quite close to the throwers. They can hear most things we're going to say today. Look at that. Great throws. They're warmed up.
Yeah, sometimes it takes a few throws to get the hang of things, but I think they're getting on it now.
From outside,
Just locked in. Wow, big kill.
And it's a big advantage when you can get that angle and really use those axes that are already in the board. Just with a great grouping there on the right.
I love the fact that they're also throwing their team's respective axes.
That's a perfect round.
It may be. Let's see.
3 points, Blue.
Wow. What a throw from Sheep Toast.
2 points, Red.
To put some perspective on that, those kill shots are about the size of a bottle cap.
And here's that final kill.
Woo. Bottom right.
You can't get much better than that, as it was literally perfect.
Here is round 4. Aiming for that bottom right kill. Both successful so far.
All right, now here's where the fun comes in. How many more can they fit in? Great throw. Might just be a little outside. Sheep toast on the left. Oh, he misses.
Doors open now for Amanda. Jessica hit this.
Just a little outside. Sheep toast from downtown. Not quite able to get it. As you get wider and wider and, you know, try to create that angle, you're also creating more distance.
1 point each.
The throwers have to adjust for that, right? The axe is rotated a certain amount.
How important is it
12-foot
then
distance.
to hit the middle of the kill versus the angles to give you a chance for
All
that
right,
second?
round 5.
That's
going top
exactly.
right.
They're going to try to go dead middle so they can get one on the other side and one, you know, one on the right, one on the left. It's not that easy, though, is it?
Although they
Halfway
make
through,
it look
here's
easy.
round 5. Evan, you're bringing up a great point. The way their accuracy is today, they're making this look so easy, and it's not.
Yeah, no, not at all. It's all these throwers have been throwing for years to get to this point.
Joined by the commissioner of the Knife Throwing League, Evan Walters, and the reigning knife champion, Mike Kumpf. We got some fun when the knives come up later today.
Absolutely. The Minefield event is one to stay tuned for. You're going to have knives in the board, and then they're going to come back with axes and throw them right at them. Speaking of throwing for years, Jess got started in 2019. A friend she knew from the popular MMORPG RuneScape actually suggested axe
That's a lot of
throwing to her.
acronyms. MMORPG. How
I'm a
about that?
professional, Evan.
You're doing the job well. Absolutely.
And she actually ended up, you know, living quite near some of the
Moving on to round
premier throwers
6.
in the
We're
sport
going
in
back
Ohio.
up to the top left.
And the rest is history, and here she is
Repeat the
today.
same pattern.
So we'll repeat the pattern. Start in the top left. Halfway through, starting round 6, an early lead for the blue team in sheep toast.
Yeah, and we've managed to go about 5 minutes without explaining why we are calling this man Sheep Toast. He grew up on a farm in Ontario, and apparently when you're on a farm, you don't have many friends, and he would have his lunchtime toast with one of the sheep on the farm. That's the story he told me.
And we're sticking with it. Here on ESPN the Ocho, starting coverage with axe throwing. Got some knives later today. Ooh, tough miss there for Jess. Oh, sheep toast, slicing it up.
Can't do it any better than that.
And as you look at the carnage in those axes, he's been practicing for this event. He nicknamed his axes Larry, Mo, and Curly, and I think he has a fourth just in case one breaks
2
called
points
Ship.
blue, just above it on red.
Oh, no points for the red there, so blue extends the lead.
And that's where the angle that you enter the board can be very important. If you
Back to
tip
the
it a little
center
too
ball.
much, you're not going to get that whole full blade coverage in the board, and that's what we saw from Jess there, just above it.
This is a big round for Jess. Down 4, needing to help her red team come back.
Sheep Toast is just dialed in. It's going to be tough.
That might be 2 big ones right there
Yeah,
for sheep
using
toast.
that first as a marker. But if you're Jess, you went left, you went right, put it right down the middle. There it is.
And she does.
All right.
We got some antics from the opposing team. Captain Nick getting in his head there.
The poor production crew struggling to find Sheep Toast. Where is he? He puts one in and knocks one out. Call to wash.
Let's get the expert ruling here from our lead ref.
2 points blue.
Now let's take a look.
Just under it.
Wow.
And that's the challenge they're facing, right?
That's the toaster oven effect, right? It just pops out and it delivers.
The slow-mo on the ground, I think, was the nice touch there.
So a 6-point lead for the blue team. Round 8 of 10.
All right, couple misses to start, but they're right there. They can use these. Let's see if Jess can collide on that one. Oh, just
A little
above.
high there.
All right, third throw.
Lewis, a big point here. Wow.
I mean, early on in this competition, you know, I'm kind of leaning towards the Butcher being a better axe. What do you think, Evan?
Well, it's got, you know, it's got that.
1 point blue.
That coverage, and that is usually pretty helpful. The ace of spades, though, I don't know. It's,
Team Blue Butcher, led by Kendra, and her husband Nick, leading Team Red.
Bottom right.
Yeah, our resident acupuncturist, Sheep Toast, sticking it to the red team right now. 12-5 in our first event.
Aiming for that bottom right kill shot.
And I think we have a successful hit from Jessica on the right.
looks like it.
What adjustment can you make that second time through the board, right? You do the first 5 and you come back to the same spot that second round.
You got to be, you know, throw to throw, taking it in, saying, okay, was I, you know, a little rough on my breathing? Do I need to step a little to the left, give more angle, less angle? Really just take it in and make your adjustments and don't get caught up in the moment, you know? Be mindful.
This might be a high-scoring round here.
3 points red.
Look at that.
2 points blue.
Perfection from Jess Renner.
Sheep Toast does get 2, so still a 6-point lead.
Yeah, three points from that
Final
ace of
round,
spades.
top right.
Evan, I've never been a fan of the Butcher. I've always been an ace of spades guy.
Yeah, it takes a little getting used to. To really maximize the potential for the Butcher, you have to pretty much hit flat face, which is not super ideal sometimes. It makes the rotation a lot more delicate, but if you can hit it, you got max coverage possible.
Exactly. It sounds like it takes skill, and that's why I don't like it.
That's fair.
Final throw for each of these competitors.
I mean,
Sheep Toast is heading to the
yeah.
parking lot to throw this last
He's going to the
attempt.
4-point line. This is crazy.
Call him Chef Sheep Toast.
He's on the bench with Nick and Kendra Colomay, our team captains.
This will wrap it up in this first round.
More fun that way.
Yeah, traveling downtown may have worked out for him.
1 point each.
So the blue team takes game 1 in Sheep Toast.
Grab your action.
Thanks down, Jess. What a performance by Sheep Toast in those 10 rounds.
Yeah, I saw him practicing last night, and honestly, he was on fire
We're
today.
gonna do a little interview, but next up we got our.
Look at that. And you see that tip angle. It's because he's so far away, you can't get the rotation right.
So
He's still
early
not
on,
just
Kendra's team with a nice start. Team Blue, they have the early 1-point lead. And anytime your ref's got shades on, you know he is calm, cool, and collected. It is a busy day of keeping track of scores. So what a start for Team Blue. Game 1 of 4. We have over-under coming up next. And now we have the winner, Mr. Sheep Toast himself. First and foremost, how about your angle on some of those shots from the outside?
Well, often when you're throwing this thing, I put a bit of a butterfly in my throw, so it ends up at a couple degrees, and so it's really out of desperation that I'm throwing from that kind of angle. But it also changes your distance a lot, so you'll see me really stretching out to try and get that rotation in.
Yeah, absolutely. And as we're watching this round, we're looking at those axes. I don't know if you can show them to the camera.
Sure.
Have you been practicing a little bit?
Well, not so you'd notice on the quality of them anyway. So we got Larry, Curly, and Mo here, and Larry has to go first, right? And then Curly goes in, and then they have to take whatever beating Mo decides to give them, right? So it's all over the axes.
Well, congratulations, first and foremost. And was Nick getting your head there, trying to pinch at your calves?
Yeah, he was actually he was doing a slow caress, actually, which is probably more distracting than anything else he could have done.
Well, Sheep Toast, thank you so much, and congrats on the win.
Thanks so much.
Well, we gear up now for round 2 after the blue team takes the early lead. We'll have over-under coming up. A lot of different instruments here on ESPN the Ocho. Stick around. This competition is just getting started for the World Axe Throwing League Championship. Welcome back to Rock Hill. Extreme Knife Throwing is brought to you by Toro Knives, the official knives for the World Knife Throwing League. We're cutting up some good competition so far. Team Blue with the early lead, 15-9 aggregate score. A lot of points later in this competition, so don't be fooled. There is a lot to go as we begin Game 2. This is what's called over-under, 2 versus 2. It's a duels competition. Best of 7 set. And the best part of this, you're changing throws. A 1 spin, a big axe, a 1.5 spin. Makes it challenging for these competitions.
Absolutely, yeah. And you're going to see, one of these players throwing overhand, one throwing underhand. We have red team trailing right now, but they have probably the best underhand thrower in the game, Jeb Bissett, going for them today.
And let's introduce you to the competition today, because anytime there's teammates, we got to make things fun. First and foremost on the left,
Better than that, which is a low
you have
bar.
Chase Salwatch getting things started. He's a youngster, just 16 years old, and just started competing last year at 15, but uber talented. His teammate, now he's got all the personality, of course. Anytime you're dressed in a bear outfit, you're ready to go. And that's Eli Morton, who's just a few years older out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. But the bear shoes are the biggest thing I see right there.
Absolutely. You're going to see a lot of personality today from him.
Look at that. That's ready to rock and roll here on ESPN the Ocho. That's very fitting, of course. Then from the red team standpoint, Isabella, who will look to step up for her team today. You mentioned the ability to go over and under. Just a student, of course, at 14 years old. And she's joined by Jeb, maybe the veteran of this group, started throwing back in 2019.
Yeah, absolutely. Jeb from Primal Axe House in Denver area. Been throwing for a long time and now throws leagues underhand. So you're going to see someone who gets a lot of practice at this. Call him a specialist.
Now you need a specialist here if you're Team Red. Down 15-9. Nick and Kendra, the captains, husband and wife, sitting right next to each other. Mutually friends for now. We'll see how it goes in about 45 minutes.
Eli, throwing underhand. Chase, Isabella, throwing overhand. We're going to start with just 1 spin axe, right? It's a best of 7 throws. Whichever team takes the set will earn 3 points for their team. Ready? Yep. Make it happen.
I wear my sunglasses at night. Tyler wears them indoors during the day.
And Tyler's been locked in today. We love it. And now let's get this party started. Set 1, round 1.
All right, our throwers that are on the right side, you're going to see going overhand. The throwers on the left throwing underhand. The difficulty here of throwing underhand, the way you're grabbing it, but you're not able to get the finger manipulation to really guide it.
Throw 2.
You're kind of just
Still
using
time.
it as a pendulum and almost kind of chucking it. It's a totally different throw than the overhand and a whole new skill to learn.
And a wash means they're both scoring the same amount of points for folks at home. There's no advantage for one team.
Correct, yeah, because of probably how difficult it would be to add up all these scores. If they're going to get the same amount of points, we're going to consider that even in a wash. And it's going to be a best of 7 throws for each set. And we're going to have 3 different sets. You're seeing them throw the hatchets right now. Up next, they're going to throw big axes, underhand and overhand. This is going to be something to see.
Red team takes throw 2. They lead the set. 1 throw to 0. Throw 3.
To give people a sense, more points for red versus blue there, so they get that second game, that early set advantage. Best of 7 here. Ooh, Isabella with a nice throw.
Yeah, good timing, too. All right. See our underhand throwers.
Red team takes throw 2.
Yeah, you see how both of those
They lead the
upside
set.
down
2
axes.
throws to
Those are
0.
the underhand
This is
throws.
throw 4.
And what you're going to see a lot from them today is a struggle to manage the height. And that's what I was talking about earlier, where you're not able to use your fingers the same way and really guide it. So you're kind of just swinging that pendulum. And it's hard to control the height. You're going to see them going up, down, and all around.
Oh, Jeb goes underhand, nearly.
Yeah, why do I even bother commentating if he's just going to throw it perfect?
Oh!
Wow, and Chase
Blue
with a great
sneaks it.
response.
Blue takes throw 4. Red team leads
big.
2 throws to 1. This is throw 5.
So 2-1, best of 7. Important turn here for the blue team.
Another thing to consider about this type of competition is when you have 2 people throwing at the board at the same time, they're both trying to get for that tiny little area there, but you have to make sure you maneuver around the other axe, but you can't because they're in midair.
Absolutely, and as you're saying that, Evan, we see on the right side, the underhand
Red team
thrower
still
crossing
leads the set.
over
2
the
throws
overhand
to 1.
thrower.
This is throw
Nearly a collision
6.
midair.
Okay, throw 6 of 7 here.
We sent these competitors a little bit of a survey, get some information ahead of time. Eli apparently is from my mom's house. Yes, that's
How
how she's
about that? And stepping up on the mat, too, for Team Blue.
Tying the set, 2-2. Final
Two
throw.
apiece, and the bear. What a delivery.
Wow.
All going for
Couldn't have
kills.
done it better.
Touching blades there with a perfect toss. This is the do or die here.
Look like blue team maybe taking some advice from the crowd there. Chase's mom, Kim, watching today. And I think his dad, Dave's at home, watching as well.
Whew.
Blue team.
Oh, Chase did hit
takes
that
the
top
set
right kill
and the
shot.
set, earning 3 points.
And the blue team takes set 1.
All right.
How much you sweat now if you're Nick, team captain on the red? Your team's falling behind a little bit here.
He looks like he's covering his eyes over there. I don't know if he wants to watch.
Meanwhile, his wife Kendra has a 9-point lead. This is event 2 of 4
Same thing.
total events.
Moving on to Big X. Still 7 throws. Team
So
winner
Evan, take
earns
me
3
through here
points.
the big axe
All
and
right.
the challenge of throwing this versus what we saw earlier.
With the big axe, you have a whole different demographic of weight distribution on the handle versus the axe head. You have to obviously make up the distance, which is not easy at all. Plus, you get a lot less control. Mike was mentioning that, especially the underhand, you don't get as much control. And as we see here,
Red team takes
is,
throw 1.
it is not easy to throw underhand already when you have that much weight and that big of an axe. It's
You know,
a
flicking
whole
the wrist, like flick it, the wrist is one thing,
Red
but then you
team
got to
leads
throw it
set
10
2.
feet. That's a little
1 throw
challenge,
to
too.
0.
That's like swinging
This
a
is throw
grandfather
number
clock.
2.
It is not easy. I'm glad they're doing it. Not
So
us.
Eli shakes it off after missing his target, but his teammate picks him up. Now for the second throw.
All right. Let's see this delivery from the blue team.
Ooh, good adjustment
Blue team
from Chase and
takes throw
Eli.
number 2.
Yeah, the big differentiator there was Chase hitting that 5. Yeah, let's take a look at this throw again.
This is throw number 3. We are tied up 1-1.
Smooth.
You see the one thing that the red team is kind of keeping it safe and keeping a little bit of distance, but still trying to get for that bullseye. The blue team, it has no such reservations. They're going pretty close. It's a bold strategy comp, but we'll see how it turns out for them.
The Ocho references are on point today from our crew.
A great grouping.
Blue team takes
by
throw 3.
the blue team.
They lead 2 throws to 1.
So a 2-1 lead
This is
for the blue
throw
team.
4.
Remember, these are 7 throws total.
We're seeing Isabella and Jeb talking some strategy, trying to work through it as they adjust to throwing under the bright lights here.
We got Team Backwards Hat Bros versus Team Locked In the red.
Chase throwing out of New Jersey, a terrible state, but he's a nice kid.
Wow.
Blue team.
And Chase must have heard you because he got a 5-pointer
Go
there. Big target.
Chase and I throw in league together sometimes, and I'm not happy about it. He's very, very good.
Blue team leads the set 3-1. This is throw 5. Could be game point.
His partner Eli conceived at a gathering of the Juggalos.
Red team needs to score here. This is a big turn. What a response.
Absolutely. Oh, a little faltering from the blue team.
I think Chase might have it, though.
That is a walk.
Ooh.
Chase getting that 5, very key there
3
to cause
points
the
to
wash.
1. Throw 6.
That was a 4-4 and a 5-3, causing that even split.
Okay, so the red will have to win these next 2. Well, that blue team lead gets even bigger. Nice throw from Jeb.
That's going to be hard to follow up with.
Oh, they did it!
The Robin Hood.
Wait, he hit his.
Yeah,
It is
hit the
sticking
board.
into the axe there.
Oh,
You
my
can
gosh.
see it. That axe handle has had better days. That should count.
That counts. Blue team takes the throw.
Oh, the blue
and
team.
set.
Cutting their own axe to get the winning point.
Let's look at it again. Oh.
Classic Robin Hood.
Who needs round 7? We'll just cut it up and call it a day.
Wow. Talk about accuracy.
All
They threw
right.
it in the exact same spot.
Moving on to 1.5 spin. Game works just the same as it has.
So this is the third game, 1.5
throws.
spin. What's the challenge in this?
You're turning the axe and facing
All right.
the blade back
Throw
towards
one.
you, and that is causing a complete flipping of where the weighting of the blade and the head are. So if you were throwing an axe that was back weighted before, now it's front weighted. It's just totally changing things up for you.
And what a great
Blue
underhand
team
toss
takes
from
throw
Eli
one.
there.
Eli throwing a perfect
Blue team
bullseye.
leads the set.
Underhand 1.5
nothing.
rotation.
This is
That
throw number 2.
ridiculous.
Don't mess with the bear in the woods. He is in his jungle right now. Okay, let's see if the red team can respond here with Isabella and Jeb.
Good sticks. Even at this distance, sticking is a difficulty. These teams are
Blue
making this
team
look
takes
much
throw
easier
2.
than it is right now.
Wow, and Chase with a big score to get the win
They
for the blue
lead the
team.
set. 2 throws to 0.
Remember, each set,
This is throw
best
3.
of 7. So a 2-0 lead is pretty big early.
But red team doesn't look phased. They're smiling. They're focused.
Okay, so only get scores for that one that's on the board.
Ooh.
Blue
See which
team
one's closer.
still
Okay, it is
takes
the blue
throw
team.
3.
Very lucky there that Chase was able to hit that bullseye.
They lead the set.
Both
3,
teams with a drop.
0. This could be game point. Throw number 4.
Isabella using 2 different hatchets today for the single rotation and the 1.5. Just that's the difference that it
Crocs
makes.
and paws. What a combination out in the woods here in Rock Hill, South Carolina. Oh my gosh, the bull's that's big.
I mean, they must be comfortable because he looks comfortable throwing up there.
This will be close.
Excellent response.
Let's get our scoring from Tyler. Yeah, maybe if you take the sunglasses off, Tyler, you might be able to see better.
Who scores the more total points will win this matchup.
Wash.
That extends it. How do we get the reverse sweep here, Evan, if you're Team Red?
You know, I think they take the risk and get that much
This is throw
those
5.
axes a little bit closer.
Red must take this in order to continue.
Blue team seems to be on doing that. The red team's been playing it safe a little bit, but I think they got to take the plunge.
This does open the door for Team Red.
See if they can answer.
What do the ace of spades have drawn up?
Blue team takes throw 5.
Blue stuck 2. They get the
and
point
the set.
and win the set. And this blue team's come to play here early through the first 2 rounds.
Absolutely. I see the red team that on the bench. They're all talking. They're whispering.
You're gonna go do an interview, remember?
Bringing over the winning team here with Chase and Eli. Eli deferred. He said, my bear paws have gotten enough TV time in this broadcast. And a good sign of sportsmanship there from the red team. Remember,
Great
total
move.
scoring, it adds up throughout the day. It's not over just yet.
Plenty of time left here for the red team.
Well, here is Chase, who just picked up the big win. First and foremost, thank you for joining us. Secondly,
you.
different challenges, overhand, underhand. How did you guys lock in and get the win?
We didn't do great yesterday in practice, so just saved it for the big time.
Yeah, Chase, you're 16 years old.
Yes.
You are the youngest member of the Pro League in Waddle.
Yes.
You're the youngest person to throw a 64. What are your plans in the sport?
I will attempt to win Worlds best I can. Just try hard.
So, do you have any advice for anyone else who's looking to get into the pros that might be slightly younger teenagers?
It's gonna start a little rough, but just keep on throwing, keep on doing it. You're gonna start off losing, but just keep going.
Well, Chase, thank you so much. Obviously,
you.
the Crocs and the Bear shoes worked out today for Team Blue, so congratulations.
Yep. Thank you.
Man, the blue team's rolling here early through 2 competitions out with the lead. Next up, we have Minefield, and anything can happen when the mines come to play. Quick lead for Team Blue through 2 competitions. We got plenty more here from Rock Hill, South Carolina. A 24-9 lead. Husband and wife duo in for a battle coming up next. Halfway through the competition, the blue and red team battling it out. Quick start for the blue team early on, 24-9 as we head into maybe the most unique competition of them all, the Minefield matchup. Here are the rules of how it works. So this is a little unique today. Knives and hatchets, and the big part, your first 5 throws are with the knives. Those will stay on the board, and then you throw the hatchets as well.
Absolutely. You're going to be avoiding what we're calling a minefield out there. They're going to get those knives as close as they can to the bullseye to create a challenge for their opponent.
We'll start off with the blue team and the red team batting it out. There's Sebastian Arnold, who started throwing about 3 years ago. He runs his own venue. What should we expect from Sebastian today?
Sebastian is one of the most talented knife throwers out there today, aside from maybe the world champion here. But he's going to be making it a really tough battle for Bates.
He's battling it on Coleman Bates, who was a high school wrestler and a football player, and he looks the part. And how's he going to step up today?
Coleman Bates coming out of nowhere, taking second place in the Riverbend Open this year, fourth in another major tournament. I mean, he's looking to take it to Sebastian, who's the more established knife thrower.
Let's kick it to our knife video to learn more about these throws.
Let's take a closer look at the specifications of the knives being used in the World Knife Throwing League. All WKTL knives are a maximum length of 16 inches, but they can be as short as 13.5 inches. The length determines how it rotates in the air. Maximum width of the cheek of the blade is 3.5 inches, but currently the widest knife is just 2.2 inches. The guard width on the knives must be a minimum of 4 inches across. This helps with safety in the sport of knife throwing, while the handle length can be a maximum of 7 inches from the pommel to the knife to the guard. The max weight of any knife in the league is 1.65 pounds. This allows for easier penetration into the wood with a heavier weight.
I was actually going to say, like, Stinger's almost be the best approach.
What a luxury to have the Knife Throwing League commissioner with us, Evan Walters, and the reigning knife champion, and Mike Kumpf. I'm Evan Budrovich, getting set for knives and hatchets being thrown. As you just saw, different lengths, different challenges. We'll do 10 total throws, starting with the knives, 5 knife tosses.
And the key thing they're going to be looking to do here, look at that. Right off the bat, Sebastian Arnold, right down the middle for a bullseye.
Blue team scores 1.
Remember, the knives will stay on the boards. This is truly a minefield. You have to pick your spots correctly early on.
Absolutely, and there's 2 things happening here. They're trying to score points with these knives, as you saw Sebastian get a point for that first knife.
No point.
And they're setting up basically a blocker for the second half of this game, where they're going to switch targets and throw axes at the opponent's knives and try to score in that as well.
Red team, 1 point.
All right.
Tyler, our referee, giving red the second point there.
It's going to be a long journey back, but Bates is trying to take that journey for the red team.
That knife for Bates is right up against his beard. Needed that
Blue
this
team,
morning, cut mine up on the way over here for ESPN. We all got good beards today.
And that's the thing you'll see commonly with axe and knife throwers is, you know, using maybe the side of their head, their ear, their cheek. It's a familiar point that you can, oh, the collision.
Coleman couldn't stick it.
1 point.
And that's what you face when you come in from angles like that.
So, Evan, now with the switch, you keep the knives on the board, and the hatchets have to be so precise.
Absolutely. They're going to be trying to sneak that axe, which is obviously much larger than these knives, in between to get that bullseye, or as close to it as possible.
Ooh, stuck it on top of the knives. How about that?
If it's not in the wood, it's not going to count, but we'll see.
Ooh. Oh, my gosh.
Bates getting in between. Is Sebastian's axe in the board? Tyler taking a look.
Red team, 1 point.
Yeah, red was closer.
It looks like it was just sitting on top.
In there or something.
The throw from Bates.
Whew. Just right through the middle there.
4 tosses left. What a throw by Sebastian.
Let's see if Bates can repeat.
Whoa!
Blue team.
That does not count, but it looks good in the kitchen.
Yeah. It's almost set up for a photo there.
Hey, that guy's my interior designer.
You can have a style point. It doesn't mean anything, but you can have it.
That is the first time we've ever seen something like that.
Yeah, it doesn't count, but it looks great. So a big point for the blue team.
And we'll see Sebastian coming in from the right side here. In that first set of 5 throws, Bates was unable to kind of block that right side of the bullseye, leaving Sebastian a nice little target to aim for.
And he splits the difference.
But he's making up for it in the second half of the game.
Red team.
Wow, what a throw by Coleman Bates. from the Ohio State.
All right, final throw.
Oh, so wow. So what we saw there, and you could hear the teams, clamoring. If when Sebastian pulled that axe, a knife fell out of the board, they would have lost the point. Yeah.
Wow. Big throw for Coleman. Oh, he couldn't stick it.
Blue team takes the final throw.
All right. The blue team maintaining a large lead here.
So the blue team continuing to dominate.
And I think we're going to get Sebastian Arnold over, get him in for an interview.
You mentioned that board being left open, and Evan, how did Sebastian take advantage when he went around the second time?
Yeah. You know, when they're putting those knives in there, it really is about trying to not just get the points, but also maximize the area you're preventing them from throwing the axes in. And all it took was about 2 inches on the right side of those knives for those 2 knives that fell out originally that gave Sebastian everything he needed.
Well, here's Sebastian, our winning competitor, as we see the captains watching over. Team Blue's got to be a happy camper. Sebastian, first and foremost, when you step up that second time through, you see an opening on the board. How did you take advantage and do so well that second time?
Oh man, I just have to have no fear. If I knock a knife out, whatever, I just have to aim at the bull, shoot at it. We have a job to do.
So Sebastian, in that first half of the game, we see you guys using the knives to kind of set up the blockers. How did you go about that strategically today?
I really wanted to make a nice make wings with the knives to try to cover as much of the 5 in the bull as I could to make things complicated for Coleman. But he was able to find the center opening that I left for him. But that was the strategy. Just try to spread out as much as I can over the bull.
Well, Sebastian and Coleman, thank you both so much. Way to put on a great show in the Minefield.
Thank you, thank you.
Now we gear up for the granddaddy of them all, the Duels Relay, a little husband-wife action to decide the champion here in the World Axe Throwing League competition. Team Red, Team Blue. It all comes down to this: do not go away. The winner of the duels could come back to take it in this matchup of red and blue.
Spot for a second. Okay, so you're clear now. That's you. He's going to tighten that up. Yeah, absolutely, man. We don't want you guys. All right, and that's now you clear. Done. All right. Pick you up wherever you need to go. We're clear now. Go. Guys from running into each other. Walk away. Go to your house.
Welcome back to Rock Hill, South Carolina. Big lead for the blue team as we enter this final round of competition. This is the duels relay, and more importantly, it's husband versus wife versus team. Here's the rules of the duels. 5 total rounds. Now, this is like around the world. You beat an opponent, you move on from hatchet to knife, moving forward. But that means you have to step up early for your club if you want to win this thing.
Absolutely, and as they get, from the hatchet to the knife to the 1.5, each of those is more difficult, and it's going to be that much more difficult to beat the other team that's still on the previous round.
Let's dive into the competitors for both teams. We'll start, of course, with the leaders early on in Team Blue.
Remember, each round
Kendra and Wes taking on Nick, Colomea, and Ben Paltry for the red team. It was great talking to the husband-wife early. Now they get to battle it out. You watch your team, and then all of a sudden you're going right away in this first competition.
It's like Mike said earlier. It's a battle for who gets to spend the night on the couch.
Let's see if we can get the early points here in this first round. You win, you move on. You lose, you stay on your current hatchet.
It was all fun and games and smiles earlier, but I don't see any smiles right now.
All right, throw 1 is a wash.
So 0-0. Wash. No points for either team.
Of round 1.
And in the wash, they're not going to change implements just yet. We're going to need a difference between the two teams before they switch back to the knives.
Red team needs points big time here. Nick and Ben leave the door open for Kendra and Wes.
Still a wash.
Still a wash.
All comes down to throw 3 of round 1.
So this is it. Get the most points here, and someone's moving on. Or we jump to the next instrument.
As we see some fun outfits. Nick with some tropical shorts. Ben rocking the pineapples. A little suggestive.
A big throw there for Nick. Let's see if Kendra can answer.
Oh, I think we're going to have red team with this one if they could slip that in the 5. Tyler taking a look.
Here's our referee with the final decision.
Blue team.
Oh, wow.
Takes round 1.
What a big throw here from the blue team.
Pushing forward, the blue team is continuing.
All right, blue team, you must now throw
knives. I think it's going to help them propel them forward.
Round 2, throw 1.
It's going to be a little bit of an uphill battle for red.
So how about this? The blue team moves on to the knives, and then the hatchets remain for the red team since they lost round 1.
Yeah, that's going to be a little bit more difficult going from axes to knives. So the red team might be able to catch up.
Oh, and you see it right there.
Red team takes throw 1 of round 2.
The switch from the axe to the knife,
Score is
a
1-0.
hard change, and Kendra
Throw
not
2.
quite able to make the adjustment on that first throw.
Each round's worth 3 points. So you can come back here for the red team, but this is a big moment for Team Red. They have to get something going. Big response there for Nick and Ben.
All right, impressive. Red team with a 6-6. Takes the throw and the round.
There's a big throw there for the red team. And what do you guys think in this final round? Nick and
Red
Kendra
team,
going at it.
now
Just what have we
also
learned today
move
from
on
this
to knives
competition?
for
We
round
learned
3.
that their marriage might not be so strong if Nick doesn't start letting Kendra win a little bit here.
Yeah, Kendra's team's winning quite well, but Nick's had the go of it these last 2 throws.
Both of them coming up with the knives, even field here.
Ooh. Last toss in this final round. Wow, big throw there from Wes.
Great throws all around.
Excellent throw with that Toro Bandito.
He started throwing during COVID. He's loved it ever
Blue
since.
team.
And he helps out team captain Kendra. Take round 3.
1-0. Throw 2.
Here's the second throw of the round.
Nick sporting a beautiful white knife with the Canadian maple leaf on there. Yeah.
Wow, only 1 sticks. This opens the door.
Blue team takes the
Man, the blue
throw
team's
and
come
the
out to play.
round.
Kendra must have had a heck of a pep talk because the blue
has
team is
officially
dominating
put the
today.
game out of reach and secured the victory for their team.
And there it is.
So the blue team in dominant fashion. Kendra Colomea captaining her team to a big win over her husband, Nick. What a performance from the blue team. We will wrap things up from a great competition here on the Ocho. Extreme Axe Throwing is brought to you by the Butcher Axe, patented and designed by the World Axe Throwing League. Man, what a competition today. The blue team with Captain Kendra gets the win. Coming up later on Ocho, and this will continue in just minutes, Omega Ball taking place across the street at the top of the hour at the Manchester Meadows Park. That is hectic as ever. 3-on-3 teams getting after it. It'll be a lot of fun. Omega Ball coming up. With the robotic cams as well getting ready to go. But back here inside the Rock Hill Sports Event Center, the blue team, here are the championship knives to celebrate Team Kendra's win. And of course, in celebratory fashion, we're going to chuck those against the board and celebrate a championship.
Yeah, it's a tradition in axe throwing to take your trophy and just yeet it, or otherwise known as send it. And of course, what better to do with a brand new shiny trophy?
What a win for Team Kendra, defeating her husband with Team Nick, and the Butcher team wraps this up. What a performance with Evan Walters and Mike Kumpf. I'm Evan Budrovich. We got a busy day coming up. We mentioned Omega Ball and then the Bull Shooter Darts right here in this building in a couple of hours, leading off to a new event at 1 o'clock Eastern, the Pro Q Sports League. Then we head back outside for kickball. We'll see Marty and McGee at 3 o'clock on the Ocho, and it leads up to pillow fighting at 10 Eastern on ESPN 2. It is a long day of coverage on the Ocho, so thank you for joining us. For Captain Kendra with the win, and Captain Nick, thank you for bringing your teams out today. For our talented crew here in Rock Hill, South Carolina, we want to thank you for joining us. Team Blue with the dominant performance, taking down Team Red. A lot of smiles with Sheep Toast cutting up the board, making it look pretty. And what an introduction to World Axe Throwing and Knife Throwing all day long. For Mike Kumpf and for, of course, Evan Walters, I'm Evan Budrovich, our talented crew. We thank you for joining us here in Rock Hill. Coverage continues with Omega Ball next here on the Ocho.